In particular, songs work beautifully as shared reading pieces. So shared reading is part of the balanced literacy curriculum, and shared reading involves a group reading a passage together. We share the reading. Often this is done with big books. I use chart paper with songs written on them in large text. So in a shared reading piece, the reading is scaffolded. It provides good scaffolding for the student because the student may know the song somewhat, which sets them up for success so that they can go ahead and read it. And when a student who knows a song like Twinkle Twinkle, if I have Twinkle Twinkle written on chart paper, reads that song, I will always say to them, great reading. I'm not going to say to them, that's not really reading, that's just recognition and recitation, because that's what reading is. Reading is recognition and recitation. If a child sees a red stop sign, recognizes the octagon and says, stop, I say, good reading. Reading pictures is reading. It's recognizing a shape and reading it. And when we're reading words, it's the same thing. We're recognizing shapes and reading them. We just have a lot of shapes strung together. But if you think about it, some of the first written languages were in hieroglyphics, which is recognizing shapes and reading them. So it may look like just recognition and recitation, but they are actually building skills. They're learning tracking print, they're learning one-to-one correspondence, they're learning left to right directionality, they're learning sound letter correspondence. Did I say that? They're learning all of the reading skills they need to learn. In fact, when I was young, I learned to read Hebrew through shared reading. I would sit in temple with my Siddur, my prayer book, and I would hear all of the sounds around me and learn which letters made which sounds. So I learned how to read Hebrew through shared reading. Also, as a musician, I can appreciate how shared reading works. Because for me, if I'm playing a piece of music, if it sounds wrong, I know to correct it. And it's the same with a shared reading text. So I recommend using the same shared reading text over a period of at least 5 days with progressive lessons. So the first lesson might be modeled reading. It might just be the teacher reading it to the students, modeling how we touch under each word as we read it and reading it aloud. The second day might be oral cloze. So the teacher may read, modeled reading may read the work, but leave out the last word or some ending word that rhymes with the one before, or some predictable word so that you're setting the students up for success. Leave it out and let the students read that word. Let the students close the phrase. Then the third day might be choral reading, where the entire class can read it together as a chorus. Again, scaffolding the students, setting them up for success so that if they miss a word, it's okay. They've got support. They're doing it together. They're working collaboratively. They're working as a team. The next day might be a comprehension exercise. So you might ask the students questions about it. Or you might have them illustrate the song, have them draw a picture to illustrate the text to check comprehension. You might do an interactive reading. I'll read the first line, you read the second line. And finally, you might offer independent reading. For me, I love to give my students their own folders. And in their own folders with their name, I include the songs that we have sung in class so that they can take their own folder and do independent reading. If your classroom doesn't allow, or if your time doesn't allow for you to make an independent folder for every child in class, you could make a 3-ring binder or 2 that you keep on the shelf as a work choice. so that students who choose to during choice time may choose to do independent reading. That's always a popular choice, and they'll always end up with a friend or two who wants to read with them. Maybe not during COVID. Hopefully we're coming out of that soon. Hopefully we can all work together soon. You also might want to keep your large chart paper hung in a place on the wall that the students can reach, or on an easel that the students can reach, with a pointer nearby so that students can take turns reading, which you will see happening in this picture.